Long ago, in the highlands, where the wind carried prayers across the mountains, there lived a prince whose name meant radiant virtue. But his life had not been radiant. Blinded by ambition and consumed by obsessive desire, he had made choices that brought suffering, not only to others, but to himself. In a desperate attempt to seize power, he had aligned himself with dark forces, and in the end, those very forces turned against him. Now he sat alone in a mountain cave. The bodies of the sorcerers who had helped him lay lifeless on the cold stone floor. The air was thick with smoke and silence. The echoes of his past actions seemed louder than any storm. Before him stood a great meditation master, calm, unwavering, his presence like a mirror that reflected truth without judgment. The master spoke no harsh words, but when his gaze met the prince's, something shattered. It was as if lightning had torn through the night sky of his mind. In that instant, the prince saw everything. His childhood innocence, his parents' love, the trust of his people, and the chain of choices that had led him here. He saw clearly that his suffering was not punishment, it was consequence. And for the first time in his life, he did not blame fate. He did not blame enemies. He did not blame the world. He saw himself. The weight of that realization was unbearable. He collapsed to the ground. Days passed. He neither ate nor slept. Time dissolved into grief. Tears flowed from him, not delicate tears, but the kind that come when the soul finally breaks open. They streamed across the cave floor like a river, washing over the bodies around him. The sobbing shook his entire body, echoing through the cavern, ancient thunder. And then, one day, the tears stopped. In the silence that followed, something new appeared. Not despair, humility. He raised his head and whispered to the master, "Is there a way to make this right? Is there a way to cleanse what I have done?" The master waited a long time before answering. Then he said, "Far from here, in a land called India, there is a cremation ground, a place where the living confront death. There dwells a cunning corpse known as the fulfiller of dreams. If you can capture it and bring it back without speaking a single word, your karma will be purified. Many lives will be saved. Great suffering will be prevented." To an ordinary mind, this sounded absurd, but spiritually, the meaning was clear. The corpse was not merely a creature, it was the embodiment of illusion. It represented the voice inside that tempts, distracts, justifies, and deceives, the restless mind that pulls us back into old patterns. The master continued, "It will try to trick you, it will speak to you, it will provoke you. If you respond, even once, it will vanish, and you must begin again." The prince understood. This was not a battle of strength, it was a test of awareness. Before he left, the master gave him 4 sacred tools: a red object, symbol of focused intention; an axe, symbol of cutting through ignorance; a rope, symbol of discipline; and a bag that could hold anything, symbol of boundless compassion. Armed not with weapons of war, but with tools of consciousness, the prince began his journey. This time, he did not travel to gain power. He traveled to reclaim his soul. And so began his true initiation, not into royalty, but into responsibility, not into dominance, but into self-mastery. Because in the end, The corpse in the cremation ground is the same one we all must face. The voice that says, just this once, justify it, you deserve it, it's not your fault. And enlightenment is not destroying that voice, it is learning not to answer it.